He got problems, she got problems. Only I got 411 problems. Hey, hi, what's up, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to another story time. And welcome to You Left Him for a Reason. Baby, welcome back to Devin. Devin got a lot of stories, and I didn't realize. I guess I could kind of it makes sense since Devin was my boyfriend or whatever, and how he has played a part in my life and not really paying attention to it. Cause when I'm done, I'm done. But since this is my video diary, it kind of makes sense of like how many stories Devin is involved in, kind of leading up to. So, not necessarily the beginning of, but a backstory on Devin is in the random DM. Okay, and there are two parts to that. All right. In the second part, I kind of lose it in that story time because I had started talking about the baby that I lost, and so I kind of didn't deal with it. As I told y'all, like usually I kind of just continue on. Like I really don't deal with the emotions and stuff. I kind of just keep going, right? And so when I was telling that story time, like the emotions came like flooding back, and so I kind of like the end was kind of choppy, and it's like I'm just want to get it out, get rid of it, right? Okay, and then like some of the experiences that I had when it came down with dealing with Devin and his females, that started with child, what's the story? What's the first one? The drive to Tallahassee. Then it goes to what you call it? I'm cursed. And then it's with the girls. These hoes are crazy. 1 and 2. Now there's only so many stories I can tag in this because YouTube limits you to like 5. So I don't think I'm gonna do a playlist. I may just put the pictures up so you'll know to go look and then tag other ones. That way you'll get all of them. Feel me? Cause it all makes sense. But with dating Devin, this is not the last story. He's gonna be in another playlist. Anyway, but this makes sense. That story is literally in Central Secrets, so it's kind of different. It'll be dating Devin, but it'll be different, so to speak. It'll be a different perspective. This story is a different perspective. It is. It's a different perspective. So, let's get into it. So, I told y'all I was going to clear up the random DM, the ending part. So, when I moved back to my hometown, when I left, when I moved back to my hometown and me and Ty ended up staying in Wildin' Out's house, and I told y'all how she owned Wildin' Out owned the house, but her grandmother owned the land. So what had happened was her grandma and a lot of the elders, because a lot of older women, as you hear me say in Church Chronicles with church ladies or the women of the church, something that I name it like that, how older women are set in their ways, and when you give off like, I won't say what's the word I'm looking for, when you give off that you're sure about yourself, that you confident, that you know what I'm saying, that you know what you're doing, and that you're gonna be stuck in your ways, and it doesn't boil down to necessarily being about church, those women who have been through things, but it's like at this point in time we're evolving. So a lot of things and how you did things, how you went about it, and how you went about it to survive is not how it flows now. So it doesn't mean you don't know what you're talking about, but it's like we've evolved. So how you feel things should go is not necessarily how it's flowing. And if you buck up against that, or if you know what I'm saying, it's like, I'm not doing it that way, I'm going to do it my way and the way that I'm comfortable in, you're going to be labeled. And I've been labeled everywhere. It doesn't change. It's just a group of women that I know, as I stated I know I can make older women and other women, no matter the race, be uncomfortable, because you're insecure about certain things about yourself, and you recognize the confidence in me, and so that makes you insecure. So I'm going to attack you, to humble you, to bring you down to where I am, instead of asking, or instead of learning by watching, like, oh, okay, well, she's confident, let me take that energy and put it into myself so I can be confident. But a lot of times they don't know how to do that, because both parties, any woman, we've been taught by white men. We've been taught by slave masters. They've been taught by the white men, because white women didn't have any rights either. So all you're taught is attack, 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 fight, 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 which is why we're in the situation we're in when it comes down to war. Basically, I just want to show you how big my is at this point, even though it's not big. I just want to, because I have this power, I just want to stretch it. I just want to show it by doing unnecessary BS. So with black people and with black women, it's like, oh, because I'm older, no matter what, you're going to respect me, even though you're disrespecting me, even though you're being nasty, even though what you're talking about is not what it is, and we have evolved, and you don't want to hear it because it's either my way or no way. So she had gotten to the point where she was upset because what you were trying to do was infiltrate and try to figure out what I was doing when it was coming down to my kid. So you would try to use Ty to figure out what I was doing and what I had going on, because that's what you were used to, because you were used to controlling and being in your older adults' children's business, because you were paying their bills. You were giving them money. You weren't giving me that. So what you used was, but you're on my land. So since you're on my land and you're not going to abide by what I think you should do, get out. You got 30 days to go. So now I have 30 days to figure out where me and Ty are going, because you couldn't control me. Cool. So at that point in time, while we was there, Devin had reached out to me, and during this time, I had already started talking to my little we had already started communicating. Because we had passed each other. I don't want to say passed each other, but I had reached out on MySpace, because I was like, dang, because I couldn't remember what happened to us back in high school when we used to date, when we were a couple, because we were a couple. And I have always been private. I've never been the type where I feel like I needed validation from anybody of who I was dating or who my boyfriend was. A lot of the people, as I told y'all, like, when they find out, they be like, y'all used to talk? Yep. You had no clue, because I never needed validation from anybody. I used to be like, yep, that was my baby. Or they would be like, that was my baby. I've never needed that. And a lot of people need validation from other people to be like, you think this is a good relationship? You think we look good together? And then it always baffles me, because when people be like, nah, they're not good for you, they playing you. Or, yeah, you look like you not the same person when you with that person. You look like you not happy. Then they be like, oh, you jealous. Oh, you jealous. Oh, you just wanna. Oh, you just wanna. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then you be quiet and look at you. You look stupid. We try to tell you, but you don't want to listen. So it's always baffling to me how you don't need validation from people, but when people tell you, like, that ain't no good for you, that's not going to end well, you don't want to hear it. Y'all are crazy. So it was like, I was like, dang, what happened between us while we was in high school? And so it was like, I saw him on MySpace. And so I was like, let me reach out. And his number was on MySpace, like, bold. And it made sense, because you was that type of person, even in high school. And so I had reached out, and I was like, I haven't seen you in a long time. Like, hey, how you doing or whatever. And he was like, I'm glad you reached out. And it wasn't even nothing like that. Literally, it was literally, hey, how you doing? Cross the paths, because he was doing his thing in a relationship, as far as I know, by looking at his MySpace. And here's what I tell people all the time. That stuff that people put out on the internet don't guarantee necessarily be what's happening in real time. You don't have a clue what can be going on in people's life. A lot of the people had no clue. They had no clue. Was unaware that I was being sexually assaulted in my house for all those years. No clue. You had no clue the stuff was going on in our house that I'm telling y'all. No clue. You had no clue my sister and my brother was fighting battles in that house. And that was before the internet. So the stuff that people put out there, because even now, because I said y'all don't research, you have those pages who put out whatever. And then y'all be just commenting, oh my God, and not go research nothing. And some of the stuff that them people be putting out there is just for clicks and views. It don't even be true. So when people put stuff out there, you have no clue what's going on. Or when y'all be like, couple goals, and then 2 months later, we've been broken up. We were broken up for like a month or two, just staying in the same house. Christy and Desmond, I wanted to leave. When that man, y'all was, he a cheater, he a dog. Whole time they having issues. Y'all don't have no clue. No clue. Anyway, so according to his MySpace, I'm looking at like you got kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you doing your thing, you happy or whatever. So that was it. Literally, it was like an introduction. Hey, how you doing? Nothing major, right? So time had went on, and one specific morning he reached out and he was like, "Good morning, beautiful." And when I woke up, I looked at it because at this point in time I had a BlackBerry. I absolutely miss and love my BlackBerry. I wish they would have. I had this conversation with a man when I worked at the clinic, and that STORYTIME intro into PCT. When I worked at the clinic, me and this man was talking, and he talked about, because he was like, "What type of phone do you have?" I don't know how we got on phones, because he was a patient. He was just sitting there talking, and because at this point in time, I was like, I absolutely hate touchscreens. Because touchscreens was coming out, but it wasn't as advanced as touchscreens are now. Like, it was hard. Like, the touching them and calibration and all that stuff was off. I could not stand touchscreens, to be totally honest. And so, I got a BlackBerry. Absolutely love my BlackBerry. Miss my BlackBerry. And so we were talking, and he was saying how, because he was like, "What type of phone do you have?" And I was like, "Oh, I have a BlackBerry. I love my BlackBerry." And he was like, "BlackBerry he was like, they're far behind, so they're either gonna end up falling off or gonna end up like being discontinued." And I was like, "Why would you say that?" And he was like, "Because touchscreen is taking over." So this was right before like the iPhone and all that stuff, right? And I was like, "You think so?" He was like, "No, I know so." He was like, "If they don't convert into like the touchscreen era, they're gonna miss out. They're gonna miss out." BlackBerry was literally almost like Google, where Google has like the Play Store, Apple has the Apple Store, BlackBerry had the RIM Store. Everything was RIM, and it was only specifically for BlackBerry. The notification, how it would come, it was like B-Buzz was the app. I looked for that app for like every other thing, and it was only specifically for BlackBerry. The way the notifications would come up, and I was like, "Oh my God!" The only way you could talk to each other was through a pen. Like, you didn't need an app. You had to have your BBM. It was BBM pen. Your BBM, BlackBerry Messenger. You could give that person your pen, and y'all can message each other specifically, like iPhone to iPhone. Like, if your phone is off, and you can still message each other if you got an iPhone type situation. BlackBerry, if it was off, you couldn't do that. But I'm just saying, you just had, all you needed was a pen. It's like, "What's your BBM?" Like, "What's your pen?" I can send you a pen. We can message each other instead of exchanging numbers type situation. So anyway, BlackBerry had tried or whatever to kind of come into the game. I think it was called the BlackBerry Storm was their touchscreen type situation, but I ain't really like touchscreen, but had to do what I had to do because everything evolves, right? And so either you're going to adjust or it's gonna conquer you. Either you adjust or conform. Adjust or conform. Anyway. So yeah, so at this point in time, like he had reached out and I was like, it's a little odd, but we're talking. You know what I'm saying? Like talking. And at this point in time, I asked one of my homegirls who I had met him through, and I was like, what happened with us? And so she was like, girl, I don't even remember. It don't even matter. Just let it be. And I had never understood like the disdain that she would have. And still I don't. But I didn't say anything else. I just let it be once I got the response. Because when I pick up something, when I ask you a question and it's something simple, because I'm literally just asking, like, what happened between us, because I couldn't remember because I had blocked it. And so it was like, it's whatever. So anyway, I left it alone. But we're talking, chilling, all this stuff, right? So before he had reached out to me, before I had reached out to him on MySpace, because when I reached out to him, it's on MySpace. Like literally, it was like, hey, how you doing? And then he was like, my number, hit me. And you know what I'm saying? Like hitting each other basically on us on an app, like talking instant message. Literally. Nothing more, nothing less. It's literally just conversation. Before that had happened with the little Devin had reached out. And I had told Devin, like, listen, at this point in time, I'm celibate. I don't have nothing, you know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing for you. It's nothing between us. Nothing's been going on. Nothing. And at this point in time, like Facebook, I'm not really popping on Facebook. I'm kind of merging from MySpace to Facebook. MySpace was really taking out, but Facebook was starting to come up a little bit. And so he had found me on Facebook. And so he was like, I knew I could find you. I knew I could find you on here. I've been waiting on you. And this is when he was telling me, like, his mom had died. All this stuff had happened. He was going back and forth with so much, going back and forth. And he was like, and even in all of that, I kept thinking about you. I missed you. And I was like, yeah, we aren't supposed to be together or whatever. None of that is for us. I was like, I'm celibate. I ain't got time. Like, I'm chilling. And at this point in time, it wasn't a spiritual thing. It was just, ain't nobody around here I want to. So let me keep it to myself, because that's just the type of chick that I am. Like, for me, to want to get to that level with you, I gotta really like you. And I can switch it because of being assaulted as a kid. But if I like you, I gotta really like you. And if it's nobody I'm not interested in with doing that, baby, it's nothing. I can just turn that on off. Or baby, if it's so bad where I need to be touched, my handy dandy finger, and she's safe. I don't have to worry about nobody bringing nothing. Or I ain't got to worry about no other chick. I ain't got to worry about none of that. You know what I'm saying? But so at this time, like, I'm in my celibacy, and I think I'm in like two and a half years at this point. And so I told him that, and so he was like, yeah, because you was waiting on me. I had prayed for you. It's not funny. I had prayed for you, and that's confirmation that God told me that you're my wife, right? And so I was like, no. He was like, no, I'm telling you. And I was like, no. I don't even know if I'm coming back, because at this point in time, again, I feel like because of how things are going and how things are happening, it's like at this point, I'm not supposed to be in this other city. I'm just going to be here. I'm just going to do whatever I need to do. Whatever happens here, happens here. I'm tired, bro. I've been tired for a while, y'all, to be totally honest. But it's like, I'm tired, bro. At this point, it's whatever. Nothing is happening that way. Nothing is happening down here. At this point, it's whatever. My kid is happy in the country. My kid hates the city. Loves the country. Right? So, it's like, it's whatever. My kid loves the country. It's whatever. This is what it is. It's whatever. And I was like, I'm probably not coming back up there. And so he was like, yes, you will. Yes, you will. I'm telling you, everything is going to flow because we're supposed to be together. You're my wife. Everything is supposed to flow. Everything's supposed to happen. And I was like, I hear you. So we would talk, on the phone here and there too. And it had gotten to the point where we would talk. He kept asking because he was like, like send me a pic. It got to that send me a pic thing. And I'm talking about Devin. It got send me a pic. Oh, take the pic this way. Spread them so I can see. Oh, I'm good. Spread the lips open so I can see. Like you, and it's like, and it got to the point when you popped up on my phone, I wasn't even feeling you. Like I wasn't even feeling you in the first place. But I'm that type where it's like I'm gonna give it a try to see. I'm going to give it a try to see how I feel. And if I ain't feeling this, it's a no for me. So when he had hit me up the next night, and I had also noticed, and I was like, it's a pattern here. You're only hitting me up at a certain time. Lil Yeah was hitting me up. We was having a conversation, but it didn't go to that level. It was literally just good morning, and we would have conversation, instant message throughout the day. It wasn't even throughout that level. We would literally have intellectual conversations. Stuff we had seen on Facebook, we was having conversation. So with Devin, I was once I'm getting to this point where it's like I'm feeling the conversation over here. I ain't really feeling you. It's really starting to get on my nerves because it's like you use the God thing to pull me in. And I ain't really feeling that. At this point in time, I'm watching my church online. So it's like, I ain't really feeling you. I ain't really feeling none of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it be. Because he was like, I don't think we handled like the baby situation well. I don't think, we had time to really sit down and talk. It was like, you was pushing me away, which was true. Because it was like, Ninja, please. Like, you ain't got nothing to say about this baby. Like, this is just your same old, which it was. It was like, here you are, in 6 months, you were gone. And you were doing the same old. And so at this point, I was like, I'm not feeling this. And so he was like, what? And I was like, I'm not feeling this. And so he was like, is this somebody else? Is it somebody? And I was like, no, I'm just not feeling this. I was like, the only time you call is at a certain time, which was at night. And I was like, you only call at night. And I was like, and all you asking about and all you talking about is your money. Because at this point in time, he had his mom had passed away, but it was an issue where I think like the hospital had did something to her to make her go into her demise instead of it happen naturally. So you end up suing the hospital, and when you sued the hospital, you came up. And when you came up, to the point where I'm not talking about, hundreds of thousands. I'm talking about M's. So you came up. So at this point in time, you're wealthy now, which is the rich guy. You're wealthy. So he was like, what you talking about? What you mean? Like, like I'm being prepared for you. I'm waiting for you. Like, you don't miss me. You don't miss. And I was like, Devin, we haven't talked in months. And the only thing you asked about Ty one time when you first started talking, like your little entryway, you asked about Ty one time. And I said that after that, after 2 or 3, maybe 4 conversations, you send me a pic. I always send you a pic of this cookie snatch that you not getting. And to me, it was like how you was asking for me to show the pink part. For me, it seems like you were like examining to make sure like I wasn't sleeping with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, I don't want to send the pic stuff no more. Like this. I was like, when you call, I'm dread picking up your phone calls. I'm not even enjoying the conversation because we don't talk about nothing. The only thing you talk about is your money. That's it. That's all you talk about. oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I can't wait for you to come up here so you can buy a house. You found a job yet? You found a job yet? And I also noticed, like, you got all this money, but I gotta find a job for me to come up there. Why we can't come up there and stay with you? You rich. So it was like, no, I haven't found a job yet. And I was like, and again, I'm not feeling this. So let's just end this right here. Let's just stop playing with each other. Let's stop wasting each other's time. I don't want to waste nobody else's time. I don't know. I don't want to waste nobody else's time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you only hit me up at nighttime. So if you got somebody there, pay attention to her. She there. Pay attention to her. And he got quiet. Like, you can hear a pin drop like we in the library. And I was like, right. Bye, Devin. And I hung up. So he had called back 2 times and I didn't answer. Because for me, it's like, bro, let it be. Let it be. So I don't know if she was going in the tub at 8:30. I don't know if she was going to get something to eat. I don't know if you was in the man cave at 8:30. I don't know, but I just know around 8:30, I know you was calling, and it was 8:30 every night. I didn't hear from you in the morning. I ain't get a good morning. I ain't get a, hey, you had lunch. I ain't get none of that stuff. And at this point in time, y'all, I'm struggling. Like, struggling. Right? And all you keep talking about is your M's and what car you gonna buy and how I can't wait for you to come up here so you can decorate the house I bought. Like, not offering to say you need help, you need money, you need something. None of that stuff. But I'm your wife that the Lord has put me to the side for you. Right. Anyway, so that was that. So at this point in time, literally it seemed like it was like that was done, and a week or 2 later, my little yeah was like, I'm gonna come see you. And I was like, yeah, right. And he was like, nah, the next time I'm down, I'm gonna come see you. And he did. He showed up. We sat there. We talked. We had a good time. And it was like, I want to take this a little, to the next level type situation. And I was like, And so, because he was honest, he was like, I don't believe you've been celibate for this long time. And I was like, I am. And I was like, I don't just hit a body just to hit a body. I got to really like you. And I was like, it's easier for me to control that. I can turn mine on and off like a switch. That's y'all who feel like, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you got going on. I'm going to tag you and then go on about my business. And then that's why y'all have somebody crazy following y'all foot to foot. And we was together because you said you was my man or whatever just to hit. I ain't got to do all that. If I ain't feeling you, I ain't feeling you. Real talk. And so he was like, well, I like you. I like our conversations. I like, what's going on. So what happened between us? And I was like, I don't know. Because even Ty had came in and I introduced him to Ty. It was Ty's first time meeting him. And I introduced him to Ty. And usually when there's a dude around, Ty usually stays like in my face, in their face. It's whatever. Ty came in. Hey, how you doing? Because he was raised country. When he walked in, he actually said good evening. Because that's literally how we was raised. When you walk into a room, you're the person who speaks. That's how we was raised. I don't know about y'all, but when we walk into a room, how we were raised, you speak. Good evening, good morning, hey, how you doing, or whatever. Because my granny always said, even a dog deserves good morning. So Ty walked in, good evening. I said, Ty, this is my friend from high school. This is Ty. He's like, how you doing? He's like, hi. Went to his room, got some stuff. He said, see you later, Ma. Both of us were shocked because he was like, usually when I meet other people, kids, they usually be sitting there looking in the face. That was usually Ty said he usually do that. And so he was like, that should tell you something. We started laughing or whatever. We sat there, we had a good time, had a good conversation. And he was talking how he was like, I love the conversation that we have. I want to take this, to the next level. Basically, I want you to be my little yeah. I want to be your little yeah. What you want to do? And I asked questions. At this point in time, I'm asking questions, and he was like, "This ain't what you see on the. Don't believe everything you see on the internet." Used to love always saying, "Pictures is worth 1,000 words. Pictures are worth 1,000 words." Anyway, so yeah, it was like what you see on the internet don't necessarily mean what's happening, what's going on. Now, I'm not gonna front. Some of the things what he was saying was actually true. It was actually true. So once I got more detail and once I got more entangled with some stuff, it was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you mean. Anyway, we're talking, texting or whatever, and he would ask, "You need anything? Everything cool?" And I'm that type of person because of me being assaulted. I could be drowning on the other side and underwater. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because no, because I knew how saying I need something or if you done something for me, how it became loaded. Okay, damn, this gonna be a couple of parts too. Anyway, so lo and behold, like we talking, texting, real talk, cool situation. Like after he had left, we didn't talk for a while. Basically, I would think like 2 or 3 days, cause he ended up reaching out. He was like, "You good? Everything good?" And I was like, "Yeah." Nothing happened between us like that. Nothing happened between us except one little thing, but not like that. We didn't. Yeah, what I want to call it in here? But he didn't get the cookie snatch. Put it like that. But we did like kind of agree to test something out. Test something out that we had been talking about. And where he been kind of putting on type situation. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he was like, "You scared of me, you scared of me." And I was like, "No, I just know ahead of time when I know this can be dangerous. Not necessarily toxic, but it's to a point, or I can tell when it's like we're not gonna leave each other alone. We're not gonna leave each other alone. We may be mad or whatever, but we're not gonna leave each other alone. This is gonna be a long-term type situation. We think it's gonna be cool, and it's like, okay, go on. We not gonna fall for each other. It's whatever, and we gonna end up falling for each other. We gonna end up falling hard." And I was right. So anyway, but during that time, it was like we ain't do nothing crazy type situation. So I ain't say nothing because, as I told you, like, I'm the type of person where it's like, this ain't supposed to be nothing. What happened when it's supposed to happen? We were supposed to just be here talking and chilling. But it was like, oh, okay. When you reached out, he was like, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. You good?" And I think that kind of threw him because it wasn't the normal response from females that he's used to getting. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. You good?" And so he was like, I was like, "You good?" And so he was like, "Yeah." So, and I was like, "Okay, I'm the type of person, I don't do hints, and we got to put everything out on the table. We put everything out on the table, we'll be fine. Right? You got some situations and stuff going on over there." And so he was like, "Yeah, but it's not what you think it is." And I was like, "I hear you and all, but you got some situations going on over there. And I don't do drama. So I'ma chill out. And then I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? We not even in the same city. So let's just chill out. Let's just keep it the way it was. We can be cool. Right?" And so he was like, "Well, okay, well, yeah, I agree." He was like, "But I like you." And I was like, "I get it, but that doesn't mean I don't like you. But it's just, this ain't adding up. This ain't adding up. This is not a good time. We agreed. We still talking on Insta message all the time. No problem. Nobody don't have a clue. We've bonded. And we did. Unexpectedly, but bonded. So we're talking, texting all the time throughout the day. Real talk. All the time throughout the day. Even phone calls coming up in there. And so it's like, all right, I got into the point where this time comes up, and this old lady done kicked me out the house, and me and Ty got to figure something out. And so I was like, okay, I can't drive my car, because at this point in time, Amber had given me I think it was like $2,500. Amber had given me $2,500, and so she was like, "Girl, get you a cash car." And I need to tell that story time. I had got one car, and that car was shut off in the middle of the road. Ended up taking that back, and then got another car, and that car, it was like a Nissan Maxima. That car was leaking. Like, when I tell you every which way that car was going crazy, that car was going crazy. It was a leak. It was the timing belt. It was the brakes. And literally, we had to get out. We had 30 days to get out. And it was like, I can't go back to my mama's house, because I think my mom had already went to another state. And I think the house was there, but I didn't want to go back there because I had already did the back and forth with my brother, and I did not want to raise my son in that. It was like, I grew up in trauma, and I refuse to raise my son in trauma. I refuse to raise him in trauma. So it was like, we got to find a way. We got to figure out something. So I was like, okay, I'll just rent a car, leave the car here, and rent a car so we can get to where we need to get, and somebody can pick us up. Like, I'm reaching out to, at this point in time, I think I had reached out to Erica, and Erica was like, well, girl, yeah, you can stay with me. But at this point in time, Erica's married. Erica has stepchildren and her children. And I was like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Y'all. So, we literally, it was Ty, and I told y'all, like, Ty was having conversations with grown people. Like, grown people love having conversations with Ty. And I think Ty is a little gifted as well, even though he tried to play it off like he's not. He was like, the day before we had to leave, because I had boxed up everything, because he was asking, like, Mama, why do people do the things that they do? You know what I'm saying? Because he was confused on why the old lady was kicking us out of the house. And so he was like, I don't get it. Because it was literally over us not going to church. Because she felt like we should be inside the church. Because the house was on her land. So what she say goes. I'm going to tell a story time later. So literally, she was upset because I was like, I'm not a member of your church, and I watch my church online. That pissed her off. So it was like, well, you don't come to church, get off my land. Okay. So to me, I always look at things like, whatever happens, happens. I take it as how it comes, and it's just basically, it's our time to go. You know what I'm saying? So Ty had said, Mom, at this point in time, he's like, Mom, it's not going to work out. You just got to trust it. We just got to take our time. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So we get in my car, this car that I took, the $2,500 that Amber had given me, to buy this car so we could get back and forth to the job that I had. And now at this point in time, I got to leave that job, which is starting to pick up. I got to leave that to go to something I don't have a clue to. I don't have a job. I got a car. I don't have a place to live. I got me and my kid. I don't know what we going to do. But we got to be out of here. I hit Wild 'N Out up, and I was like, listen, I got to leave my boxes here. I got to leave the stuff here. So I had to leave the stuff here, so, because I don't have no truck. I just had the hours just started picking up. So I'm just getting to the point where things are coming into play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't have money for truck. I don't have money for a U-Haul to move from here to hours away. I can't go to my mama's house because I don't want to deal with my brother and being drunk every day, and my kid running and locking his door, because I'm not going to raise him in trauma. We got to leave. We got to leave. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how this is going to work out, but we have to leave. We have to leave. We get on the road. Ty was like, Mom, let's just take our time. We took our time. I put the stuff out of the freezer. I microwave, like clothes. I had 2 forks, 2 spoons, 2 butter knives, one knife that was sharp that was out of my mama house. I took certain things out of my mama house where I could have like a piece of stuff, piece I remember from my mama house. One knife from my mama house, that was our silverware. A couple of plates, and I was like, we'll do paper plates, and the stuff that was in the freezer, because we was barely making it. And I know a lot of people be like, girl, why you just didn't go get food stamps? Y'all don't realize food stamps, the government system the whole point for the government system is to keep you on it. It's not really to help you, it's to keep you on it. Hence why, like here recently, where you thought it was like people of color, that's why you was, hefty about it, and come to find out it was the white people that was on it most, right? But for me, because I only had one kid, they were only giving me, I had to have no job in order to get $200 and something. If I'm working with one kid, they was giving me $10. That wasn't worth me going to the government and putting them in my business every 6 months. $10, I can't get off my ass and get $10. So there was no reason for me to go basically to do that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so yeah, so it was like we put what we could put in the car, got on the road, started trucking to the new city. The whole time I'm crying because it was like, God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where I'm going. All I know is we can't stay here anymore. So Erica was like, girl, you could come spend the night here until until you figure it out. You can come here until you figure it out. Like, come here to get your mind together until you figure it out. I love you the most, because you're definitely the dopest in real life, and I'll see you in the next one.